3, 2, 1, action. Hi guys, it's Danaya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we're not gonna talk about my music, or I'm not gonna unbox a guitar or gonna play something for you guys. You probably know me from my music, but we're not gonna talk about that today. Today I wanna talk about something that is very real and very important to me. And this is all about my life abroad as a Filipina who left home to grow. So if you're someone, or if you're a Filipino dreaming of working abroad, then maybe this video is your sign, and I am your sign. Today I want to share my real story, not the aesthetic version or not the polished edited version, but the truth of living home, living abroad, and what is it like. Yeah, just living home to grow. So ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to go abroad. I always have these dreams of living abroad. Whenever I see places in movies, I always wanted to go there. And, you know, deep in my heart, I've always felt like it was meant for me, meant to see more, to do more, to explore more, to, you know, to just go outside of my comfort zone. And if you also have that, maybe this is your sign to do things outside of your comfort zone just for you to grow. So yeah, pagod mag-English, B. So yeah, so that feeling stayed with me while I was growing. Habang lumalaki ako, parang lagi akong sinasabihan ng mga tita ko, ng mga pinsan ko na mag-abroad ka na lang kaya, ganyan. Nagtagalog na. Yeah, I dreamed of traveling in my 20s, exploring the world while making my music, while still having my creative hobbies. My first experience abroad was when I was 19 years old, and in 2019 I had my first taste of living abroad, living the American life, but that was because of a J1 visa. You know, I lived in the US for 3 months. I worked, I hustled, I experienced the American grind, you know, walang tulog, trabaho dito, trabaho doon. I was working 3 jobs in a day, but then I realized that it was not for me because, you know, I was so young when I did that. I think I was exposed to a very challenging phase in my life as a 19-year-old. Actually, I was not 19 yet. I was still 18 by that time. And it taught me so much, but I didn't feel like I belonged there. But I had great time with my colleagues, with my managers. But then I just really think maybe I was too young for that. A J1 visa is a US exchange visa wherein you experience the cultural exchange program. And so this is very common for college students who wants to have internship, or just someone like me who wants to experience the American life. But then I just realized that it was not for me, so I went back home to Philippines and I finished my degree, I finished college, I finished university, and then after I graduated, I found out this au pair program. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about in this video. So right after graduation, I did not wait. I did not work, but at 22 years old, I packed my whole life in a one suitcase, in a one big luggage bag, 30 kilograms luggage bag, and I left the Philippines to become an au pair. Ta-da! Yeah, my family thought that I was crazy for leaving that quick. And then they were saying like, ano ba yan? Scam ba yan? Is that a scam? Or because I did not pay for anything. I did not pay any fees. I just went through some interviews. I'm gonna explain that later on. But yeah, but deep down, I know that I wanted to do this. I wanted to figure out my life. I wanted to have more time for myself first before figuring out what my career would be. And yeah, that's the thing. You know, I was always studying so hard, but then I think it was not real for me. So now let's talk about what is an au pair. Ta-da! For those who don't know, an au pair is a cultural exchange program. It's like a J1 visa, but not a J1 visa. Au pair has its own visa, which is an au pair visa. You live with the host family, you help with childcare and light tasks, and in return, you get free accommodation, you get free meals, you get a health insurance, and a monthly allowance. It's not a high-paying job, but it's a chance to learn, to grow, and to travel. So, right? It sounds so good, especially for young people like me who wants to have a free travel. Travel. My first au pair destination was in the Netherlands, and it was not a very good experience at first, but it's still a good experience. I learned a lot. Okay, so August 2022, I graduated college, and then before that, I'm already having these interviews, host families match, and I applied through Sunshine Au Pair Agency. By the time of July 2022, before I graduated, I found my first host family match. We got through the screenings and interviews and then processed my visa in Manila. So I was super excited. And then I met them. But then after 2 months, it was not really good much. And then I decided that I need to find a new host family. But then I tried to get help from the agency. But it was a little bit complicated. So I moved to another agency, which was very helpful because they helped me through everything. They found me a new family. They found me a good match. And yeah, that was a lot of things, right? To summarize, I did not much with my first host family, but questioned a lot of things. Should I go back home? Am I meant for this or not? But then I still managed to figure it out. If there's a will, there's a way. But after 2 months, I changed families. That's what I said. And that changed everything. I met new friends. I met a second family abroad. The Filipino community also as well that helped me to experience the Netherlands. It reminded me that this experience is not just about work. It's about growth and experiences, you know? They said that weak times create stronger man and strong times create weak men. What? Okay, basta, you know that saying. So yeah, that was just a bit background story of my life. And now life brought me to Sweden and it was such a beautiful experience. You know, new culture, new lessons. So one of the biggest blessings of being an au pair in Europe is the freedom to travel. Yes, with an au pair visa, you can explore many Schengen countries like Denmark, France, Italy, Spain, Germany, you name it all. You can go there without having to apply for another visa just to visit because it's part of the Schengen visa that you have. It kind of feels like Europe feels so open when you're an au pair here because, you know, you can just travel. By plane, by a bus, or by car, you can just travel. I remember I was with my Filipino community in the Netherlands. We traveled from the Netherlands to France, to Spain, to Italy, to Monaco, to Andorra, just by car. I was just saying that traveling in your 20s, you'll be forever grateful if you do that because you're experiencing the real life. Alright, so of course, life abroad is not always glamorous. There is homesickness. There are days when you feel super lonely, especially now. It's winter season and there are culture shocks because you're stepping into an unfamiliar place and you have to adapt by your own. It's not that the people will adapt to you, but you are gonna be the one stepping into their place. So, you know, it's a very big adjustment. But there is also a very beautiful thing about it. You grow, you discover who you are, you find strength you didn't know you had, and I think that's the beautiful thing. You know, my reason for becoming an au pair was very simple. First, I wanted freedom. I wanted time for myself. I wanted time for my music as well. I wanted to meet incredible people. I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone. 5 times already. Ilang beses ko na nasabi yung comfort zone, guys. So being here helped me discover a version of me that I think I wouldn't discover it in my home country. And being here, it gave me all of that opportunities to grow, to learn, learn new languages, learning this, multitasking and doing everything. Just doing everything. So what are the benefits of being an au pair? So if you're still here watching this part of the video, then I think you're interested, right? So here's what you can gain. Free accommodation and meals, free travel around Europe, time for studies, personal growth and independence, cultural exchange, second family abroad, meeting new friends and building a community, and of course, savings. But the last part will depend on how much you can save because it really depends how much you can earn depending on the country. In Sweden, you only get 5,800 plus crowns. In the Netherlands, my first au pair country, it was only 340 euros. So before I end this video, I just want to give you some tips from my experience. First is to choose your host family wisely. Not everything that glitters is gold. Second is to read your contract carefully. You have to be aware of the responsibilities that you are stepping into. Number 3 is to prepare for homesickness. That is totally normal, but once you found your tribe, once you found your friends, your community here, then it will feel a little bit less. And number 4, learn basic words of the country. Before I got here in Sweden, I was waiting for my Swedish visa in Bangkok. I was already studying the Swedish language before I got here. So it's exciting, especially if you're someone like me that loves learning, loves trying out new things. So yeah, it's kind of a bit challenging, but Duolingo is a good practice or a good help. The next tip is to budget your allowance, because as an au pair, you don't get a lot of salary. You don't get salary actually. You get an allowance. It's just for your stuff, for your personal stuff. If you want to travel, if you want to buy things for your own, if you want to do things like that. But you have to budget it. You have to don't buy things that you don't need yet. And next step is to document your journey. So I know a lot of au pairs or a lot of travelers abroad that are documenting their life, and it's just nice to see people romanticizing the beauty of life, the travel, the beauty and the growth of leaving out of your comfort zone. And the last tip is to trust your intuition. It's your superpower abroad. Once you step into another country, I think you're gonna meet a new version of yourself. Like, it's so brave, you're so strong, you're so independent because you know how to navigate this map, you know how to navigate these places. So it's kind of like wow, I can do this. Lastly, before I end this video, I just want to say just quick disclaimers. Being an au pair is not a high-paying job. It's not always easy. It always depends on your host family, so you have to be able to express what you need, and communication is the key. It's the relationship. Each country has different rules. As an au pair, you don't travel full-time. You still have duties and responsibilities, and that is to take care of their children. Our experiences are different from one another, so don't compare yourself to other au pairs, like her host family is much better than my host family. No, it's not. It doesn't work like that. Some host families are amazing, yes, but there are other things that your host family can have that her host family doesn't have. It's different for all of us. Some au pairs can get their own room. Some au pairs can get just a little bedroom like me. Before in the Netherlands, I had this small apartment, like I was living outside of my host family's house, and it was great. But then I was thankful that I got to experience that. But now I'm living in a bedroom, and I feel like I'm living in a tiny space in a bedroom with the family, and I feel like I'm so connected with them. And yeah, that's the thing. It's like balance of these things. Last disclaimer is this is my personal story, so I just want to give you some tips and some informational things that I really wanted to share with you guys. So to every person or every Filipina, not just Filipina, I mean to everyone who's interested or dreaming to work abroad, then I think this is your sign. If there's always a tiny voice saying at the back of your head or the back of your mind, all it takes is just one little courage and just get out of your comfort zone and follow your heart, follow your dream, and you'll get there. Alright, so that's it for today. Again, guys, I'm Danaya, and nice to meet you. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm currently an au pair in Stockholm. And if you guys want to listen on my songs, then you can just follow me on Spotify. I'm Danaya on Spotify, I'm Danaya on Instagram, Danaya on Facebook, Danaya on everything. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.